Y'all get on my nerves now. I don't want to entertain too many public scandals. However, I told y'all in 2025, I exposed some things that I had witnessed in the church. And there was some big names that I was surprised that engaged in some things. One of them being massages. You know, the kind, this unique specialty massage that gives happy endings. So it's a prearranged, this what I do, this how I get down type of massage. Yeah, AKA escort. So as you see, our dear brother, Pastor Dr. Jamal Bryant, I've been knew about that. Y'all should have been down that rabbit hole. She's been talking about this baby since he was little. I was disappointed when I first heard about Pastor Jamal Bryant having a son that he wasn't claiming. And I followed it way back then. But this ain't too much about Pastor Jamal Bryant, more than it is about some things that I seen firsthand that people look at you like you better not say nothing about it. And this how it goes down. So here's the story time. So during my outreach endeavors, I partnered with a lot of churches. I had fellowship with this church, and in the behind the scenes, I was trusted with a lot of information. And so as we were having these different conferences and special events, one time in particular, as a servant now, I'm always, if there's a need to serve and I'm on the scene, I'm going to jump up, put on my hairnet, my gloves, my apron, do what I got to do. I don't care what kind of clothes, how expensive or how cute I think I am. Hello? So one time I seen that there was some bishops and big names that more than just Pastor Jamal Bryant. Now, listen, it's some names that's been in the scandals just as frequently. They were all there. So, you know, they're all clicked up. They all travel and do conferences. If you know, right? So I was asked to escort them upstairs where they would have their private rooms where they would eat after they did their sermons and stuff. So that's normal. Okay, cool. In particularly this location, I had never been to the upper rooms. I had no reason. I was in the congregation, okay? I ain't got time for going up the back stairs, down the hall. I ain't never had the need to do that. But in this particular time, there was a need because they didn't have enough people to serve. So I get up there. One of the bishops had private room. And I said, oh. They said, yeah, they get massages, you know, on the road because they stand on their feet. It made perfect sense to somebody that's naive and, you know, I'm looking through innocent church lens. I ain't looking for no hoes, you know. But, and however, when I went to serve and knock on the door, I was asked, was I there as a escort or was I there as a masseuse? I said, oh, no, honey, I'm not a masseuse. Still not thinking what they were saying. I don't take hints. I'm not that kind of girl. Child, my friend came down the hall who was in charge of the organization, my sister friend, who was in charge of the organization of this type of shenanigans. And she started laughing her heart out, crying, because she know I'm going to say what it is. Like, check you in your spot, right? Where you standing. So she was like, no, she's not a part of it. And one of the pastor bishops said, I wish she was. And I said, I'm serving your food. Like, do you have preference over who served your food? She said, girl, that is not what they talking about. That ain't all they getting served. I still didn't realize what was happening until I started seeing women leave each room. The bishop whose church we was in, he said, listen, I need you to give me a heads up if anybody else comes up to bring up the food, because right now they're getting their massages. Child, come to find out, them heathens up in there having sex, child, stinking up the room, child. I didn't even know. That's where the church money go. They over there tricking. Oh, forgive me for my dry sense of humor. My intentions are to be lighthearted even when I'm telling the truth. I don't want to come off scolding, condemning, or judging, you know? I really didn't know. And back then, I wasn't worried about, you know, exposing or who knew I knew. I wasn't worried about telling people. I just was thinking that the decency of order would pop in. You know, the people that's in charge of the church, the fivefold, I thought that they would hold them accountable. But when I got in my own set of situations and I seen that a lot of people in the church don't be held accountable, yeah, I see how it be going down. Child, God's love and God's peace to you all.